The playoffs remain entertaining, and we actually have some Bulls news to get to on today's show. It's funny, right? The name of the show is Believe in Bulls. We barely talked Bulls last week. We have a Bulls nugget to get to, and it's interesting, to say the least. I'm very curious to see how this is going to go over. Welcome into Believe in Bulls here on the Believe Network, presented by BetOnline.ag. I'm your host, Nick Schultz, alongside my partner, former Bulls bench mob member and Tennessee Vol, C.J. Watson. C.J., exciting playoff action. Man, this is really, really fun. Even a couple blowouts I didn't expect, but otherwise, pretty good.
Yeah, it's been entertaining, fun. I'm in LA right now. The city is booming. The Lakers have the city, electrified. So it's going to be interesting to see who wins the game tonight.
Yeah, we're recording this on Monday, so we don't know if the Warriors Lakers are going to be tied, if it's going to be 3-1. We don't know. But we're going to look at a couple blowouts in this series. This is the one series I didn't expect blowouts in. So,
Yeah.
but there's other really fun things to talk about, like Joe Mazzulla taking 2 timeouts home with him for no reason. But before we get too far into that, I have to tell you about our great friends, BetOnline.ag. BetOnline is your number one source for all your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest player reports for this year's pro basketball playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. Basketball, MLB, NHL hockey, right to UFC and boxing. It's the hockey playoffs as well. Those have been fun. And by the time this drops, the NHL lottery will be over. Who knows if the Blackhawks are going to get Connor Bedard or not? It will only determine my mood for the next 6 months or so. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games you can play right from your home. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. That's BLEAV. Get that 50% bonus at BetOnline because it's where the game starts. And don't forget, we have an official t-shirt of our show. Jordan Pippen 98, The Last Dance, exclusively at shop.believe.com, the official store of the Believe Network. There's a lot of great stuff to support the rapidly growing list of shows on Believe with the official shirt of our program. Jordan Pippen 98, The Last Dance, shop.believe.com. Before we get going, I want to tell you about a couple other ways you can listen to the show. Believe has a new partnership with Cumulus. Maybe you're listening to us on there. Maybe you're listening on TuneIn. Maybe you're seeing us on Believe TV. A lot of avenues to take us in. We are excited to be with you wherever you are listening or watching from. You can dive right into it with 76ers Celtics. I'm getting my popcorn ready because, you had Joel Embiid with the injury. You had James Harden with the big game in his absence. He hit some big shots. He hit the big shot to win it yesterday, Sunday. Joe Mazzulla, bad game management. Overall thoughts on 76ers Celtics, just the first few games.
It's been, like you said, it's been interesting. I love the battles that those two teams have been having back and forth. One team taking the lead, the next team giving it up, and one team taking it back. And like you said, James Harden just comes up big in clutch moments that we're used to seeing, I guess, from him in the past. And he's doing it as a side counterpart, as a Batman, and I think that's even better for his team.
Yeah, and Embiid struggling to get through those games. I mean, he's coming up. He's got that knee. He should be out. Like, he should not be playing on that knee. But here he is. You could tell he's getting, a little slower as the game goes on. Harden takes over and just looks like vintage James Harden. He hit a big time shot the other day. He had another big one yesterday. I mean, like you said, when he's Batman, that's dangerous. If he's getting hot, if he gets too hot, you see what happens, because the 76ers were down big and they came back to win that game because of James Harden.
Yeah, for sure. I don't like that Boston keeps switching Al Horford onto James Harden. I think that's a bad matchup. Terrible decision making on the coach's part in game planning. But they're going to keep doing it. James Harden has to keep taking advantage of that and just keep getting to the basket, keep finding the shooters. And I think Jaylen Brown would love to get that one last play back where he doubled off of James Harden in the corner off of Embiid. So, I mean, it's Embiid down the paint. I guess you got to go because he's such a force down there, but you can't leave James Harden that wide open.
That's elite shooter Al Horford, by the way. Like, we got to throw that out there. He said he's an elite shooter. He said, look at the numbers. I can't disagree with the numbers when you look at him. Like, yeah, I guess technically he's elite shooter Al Horford. But yeah. I agree with you on that. And then, that Jaylen Brown play, when that long closeout on Harden with that last shot. Yeah. Man, I get why you want to go for the double team there, because it is Embiid and he can beat you with literally on one leg, as he's doing right now. Yeah. And you've got to defend him, but you cannot leave James Harden that open, especially in a big moment.
Yeah, you can't do that. And you rather give a 2 and a 3 anyway. 2 ties the game, and at least you have a chance to win the game. So, like I said, I'm sure he would love to get that play back. And Marcus Smart definitely missed the open 3 to probably win the game. So a lot of possessions that both teams, I'm sure, would love to get back, and it's going to be interesting for the next game.
Well, and that last shot too, I thought we were going to have pure chaos. It was not as close as I thought it was, but he got that shot off. It was late, but it was
Yeah.
just late enough where like, okay, it's not going to be too much of a controversy. If it
Yeah.
was, I mean, 2/10 of a second later, we're sitting here going, okay, did it count? Did it not
Right.
count? Like
Yeah.
my first thought, I tweeted Harden after the shot immediately. I'm like, oh my, because I'm like, I don't know what happened.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, I thought it was late. I could see like, okay, maybe my eyes deceived me. I wasn't wearing my glasses. You never know. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm really glad that it wasn't the full on like the replay determined. It was close, but it was like, okay, he did get off late, and his reaction said it all too. The fact that he didn't celebrate, he knew.
Right. Yeah, for sure. For me, it's hard to tweet during the games because so many things back to back. Because once you tweet one thing, then something else happens real fast, and you got to tweet something else. So I just try to tweet like maybe like once a quarter or once a half or something like that. But I love Twitter and the reaction of the fans and stuff, and reading all the comments and stuff like that. It's pretty funny.
Covered Loyola basketball for 5 years, covering mid-major basketball. Anything can happen. I'm used to tweeting something. I'm like, yeah, don't read that. Like, I'll just follow it up. Or like, my favorite thing I do is I'll tweet something and something the opposite will happen. I'm like, just quit tweeting. I need to quit tweeting sometime. But I mean, it's all part of the fun of getting into these games too, is seeing the reactions live on Twitter, and it's fun. So when it's on ABC, I can watch over the air. So I'm ahead of everybody else. It seems like, especially in the Twitter world. And I'll be going like, oh, what are people saying? Like, oh, wait, I'm not streaming right now. Give it 30 seconds for people to kick in. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm glad these games are on TV, because then I can sit here and be ahead of everybody when I'm sitting there. Call a timeout. Call a time. I'm sitting going like this. There's no one else in the freaking room. I'm like, call a timeout. And why do you have 2 timeouts? You don't take one there if you're Boston.
I mean, I think I like him that he has trust in his team, and he has like you said, he has a veteran. That 5 on the floor was a veteran, experienced 5. So I think him not calling timeout, him thinking that they would get a good shot, a good look, in which they kind of did. But like I said, I would have called timeout. I don't want to. Sometimes you don't want to let the defense set as if you're Boston, and just go with the flow and just let the players make the best decision for you.
If you had 1 timeout, I can understand okay, let them play. You don't want to burn your last timeout. You had 2 of them. So
right.
If you let's say you get a shot off, you miss it. If you get a rebound, guess what? You can call another timeout. Like you had that leeway. If you had 1, fine. We wouldn't be talking about this if they only had 1. You had 2. Call 1. Like, you're at the very least on the other end, advance the ball.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll definitely look at that as something to like you said, get back and probably fix the next game. I'm sure he won't let those timeouts sit in the bank like that and just not use them. But like you said, it's always pros and cons to every decision, every situation in the game, especially late game situations where it can decide the game. So I'm sure he'll learn from that as a young coach.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I like Joe Mazzulla a lot. I think he's done a really good thing with the Celtics team, considering everything that happened early in the year. Yeah. The fact that they're in this position is a testament to him. And let's shift here to Nuggets Suns. This series is getting fun. I wasn't sure how it would go after those first 2 games when Denver won. The home teams won every game. I feel like that's how it's going to go the rest of the way, right? It just feels like the home team's going to win every game.
I think so, but some teams, I think Denver has the wherewithal to win one on the road, if anybody. I didn't go into this series, especially with CP being hurt. I didn't think Phoenix had enough from the supporting cast, and I didn't think Devin Booker and KD could carry the load as much as they are to get them to a win every time. But they're doing a great job, and like Devin Booker said in his press conference, just forget all the statistics and being efficient. Just go out there and score and keep being aggressive, and that's what him and KD are doing. And I think that's when they're playing at their best.
Be very curious to see what happens. Is Chris Paul due back this series? Can he come back?
I'm not sure. I don't think he should. I think just let him ride it out.
Great. I mean, you got something good going here with the way they looked without him. That was going to be the question, is like, okay, do we want to be those guys and say, are the Suns better without CP, or do you just want to go through this series and regroup?
Yeah, you just got to go through the series and let them just, get better and recover. But I think they're playing great right now. It's going to be interesting to see if they get one on the road, how close it can be, or if it's going to be a blowout on the Denver Nuggets part. So, but yeah, they're KD and Booker are playing great right now. So I wouldn't mess up this flow right now.
And someone else who's playing great is Nikola Jokic, except the problem is they can't win the game. 53 points and 11 assists, and you lose the game. And I mean, it wasn't him, obviously. Right. This was not you score 53 points. It's not your fault you lost the game.
Right.
Lock down and play defense. I mean, get a stop. You can't waste a performance like that.
Yeah, they got to do that better. Their perimeter guys got to lock in better on KD and Booker, and just try to make it physical for them. Maybe double team them, throw some different looks at them, get the ball out of their hands, and just I think where they failed, they pre-rotated yesterday, just leaving shooters open in the corner, which is the easiest shot in basketball to me, a corner 3. So they got to stop doing that and just rotate after the ball moves.
Yeah, I mean, when you get a game like that, don't play defense to help your guy. Don't 53 points on a loss. I think of one other performance that a guy scored 60 points and Larry Bird said he was God dressed as Michael Jordan. You know, the Bulls lost that game. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
worst part of that game is it's one of the great postseason performances we've ever seen. And the
yeah.
Bulls lost. And that Celtics team was really good. That's one of my favorite Celtics teams, favorite NBA teams ever. But you can't waste a good performance like that. And the other storyline that's getting lost in this, the scuffle, I guess you can call it, with the new Suns owner, Mat Ishbia, who, by the way, played for Tom Izzo at Michigan State. Just
Yeah.
that's key context here because it looked like, what was it? So he had the ball. Jokic went to get the ball. He knocked it out of his hand. He pushed him. There was a flop involved on Mat Ishbia's part. I say
Greatest flop of all time, also.
he played for Tom Izzo. That's why I said that. He played for Tom Izzo. I'm not surprised by this at all. I mean, it's great. I love that they're laughing about this too. But when
Yeah,
that happened live, like I mean, I was in the other room. I didn't see it. I get back, I check Twitter. I'm like, what the hell did I miss?
right. Yeah,
I found the video. I don't know what to make of all that.
yeah. Me neither. Like I said, I think it's the greatest flop of all time. It's definitely fun to watch. I mean, I'm a little disappointed in Isaiah Thomas, who's supposed to be the bad boy. You know, he's supposed to protect and be a tough guy. It's definitely just fun just to see him on the side. But yeah, it was
Get
it's
me
definitely
started on Isaiah Thomas.
it was definitely fun just to see the owner interacting with Jokic like that, and Jokic not caring, not giving a damn in the press conference and saying he's still a fan. He had the ball, and the league's supposed to protect it. So I love it. I love the drama that this series is coming into.
The funny part about it is when I first saw the video, I didn't realize that was Mat Ishbia. I thought it was a fan. And I
Yeah,
look, I'm like, oh, hey, that's the Suns owner.
yeah,
Like he was just so casual. Like it's like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I thought it was a fan. I think Jokic thought he was a fan too, because in the press conference he said the fan. I'm like, that's the owner.
Right,
And
yeah,
now Mat Ishbia, he went on Twitter. He's like, Jokic shouldn't be suspended. It's fine. Like the fire was great. Suns got the win. Like,
right.
and Devin Booker said it best. As the new owner, he got his team a point out of it because a technical foul was called. So
Yeah, yeah.
he did his job.
Home court advantage. He's doing what he's
Yeah.
supposed to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I go back to it. The guy played for Tom Izzo. He's got to know how to flop.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, he got to. He has to be tough. You know, he has to know the way to work the rest, and he definitely worked on that day on that play.
yeah, I mean, it's not like he played for Coach K or anything like that. If he played for Coach K, he'd be the best flopper in the world. But
Yeah,
I mean, that was all time stuff, and it was just watching the evolution of the reactions of, oh my gosh, what's going on? Oh my god, what's going on here? No, wait, no, that's the owner. Like, it was hilarious just watching it in real time. And I go back, I guess I sit down, I'm like, what? And I walked out of the room for 5 minutes.
yeah,
We had storms coming in. So I
right.
was getting ready. You know, I felt like I was in the Wizard of Oz. I'm like, I'm batting down the hatches. We got storms coming in. We were under a dust storm warning here in central Illinois. First time I've ever seen that. So I'm like, okay, I'm doing that. I sit back down. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah,
It's
it's
crazy.
crazy, man. It's crazy to see. Like I said, it's an added drama that's needed for this series. I feel like, and it's going to give the Nuggets and the Suns more initiative and more firepower just to go out there and win the game, so they can just move on from the series.
Yeah, I mean, the one we were looking forward to the most was Warriors Lakers. We made that clear last week, and now everything's changed. Like all of
Yeah,
these are getting good, and Warriors Lakers with these blowouts. Where that come from? I thought this was gonna be buzzer beater material, like final minute. Get back to back blowouts.
yeah, you're just seeing both teams, dominating on the defensive end in both games, game four or game 2 and 3,
Mhm.
and then this teams just catching fire, and then on the Warriors side, they're just not being able to buy a bucket.
Which is weird.
Yeah, they live and die by the three. So on some nights they're going to be good, and other nights they're going to be terrible, just like the last game, and not be able to hit a three. So, and then also the turnovers for the Warriors. That's what's killing them. That's been their Achilles heel the whole season. Even last year when they won the championship, are they going to turn the ball over? How many times are they going to turn it over? And can they rebound and play defense well?
Yeah, and I don't want to get too bogged down in this because I do want to get the Arturas Karnisovas stuff I teased at the top of the show. But what's Jordan Poole doing taking that shot early in the series? What the hell was that?
I don't know. I didn't like the shot. I think he should have continued to attack a little bit more, or at least take one step in. But as a fan watching the game now, it's hard to make those decisions. His teammates obviously supported him in the shot. Obviously, he takes and make those shots, but I thought it was a bad shot. But I guess you got to live and die with it.
Yeah, and I understand these analysts who played the game. Obviously, you played the game, so your perspective is much different than me sitting there on my couch going, "Why are you taking that?" So
Yeah,
maybe in the moment, who was it that said that they would have taken that shot? It wasn't JJ Redick. Somebody on ESPN said they would have taken that shot. I'm like, don't lie to me.
right.
Like
Yeah,
that, I get it was open. You needed to get a shot off. It was an open shot. You were taking that from Sacramento.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was way too far out. Like you get a couple dribbles and then pass it out. Steph or Clay needs to be taking that shot. It's
Right. Yeah,
I love Jordan Poole, and we talked. We kind of we knew this was coming last week. We both
yeah,
said he needed to be smarter with the shot selection, and then
yeah,
it happened again. Like you can't have Jordan Poole saying it's Jordan Poole time at this point
yeah.
in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like I said, he's been not playing the greatest to me in this series. I just don't think he's focused enough. Like I said, I watch him pretty frequently, and his antics just gives me that he's not focused, especially in this time in playoffs. You got to be focused, and especially coming off a championship run and winning a championship, you know what it takes to get there and to win it. So you got to take every possession great, and he's not doing that to me personally.
Yeah, that's the nature of being a young player. Is in the big moment. I know we got the big contract. Like he's still a very young player, so this is going to
Yeah.
happen, and they can overcome it. They can overcome it. But I just that shot's going to jump out to me. Like that's going to be the one that sticks in my head. Like don't do that.
Yeah, especially if they lose this series, that's gonna be everyone's gonna go back to that game and that shot and point the finger. So, but you gotta move on from it, and hopefully they can end.
Right, right. And but we could talk Knicks Heat. I mean, I think that's just an entertaining series. Jimmy Butler's back. That's really all you need in that one for now. If we get to it at the end, like we can talk about it. I say that I don't want to dismiss it, but I want to get to this AK stuff because we actually have Bulls content this week. And it's one that Bulls Twitter has been reacting to because so let's walk you through it. Darnell Mayberry did his usual mailbag in the Athletic. And it's like, okay, he answers questions from fans. It's great. I love when he does that. You scroll down, there's a question about Arturas Karnisovas, and he said a source told him that AK got an extension. Just casually dropped it in there. And I'm thinking, we're doing this again with the secret extensions. We had this happen with Billy Donovan. Now you're
Yeah,
doing it with Arturas Karnisovas. So the question is, has Arturas Karnisovas earned an extension?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know, but I don't know how many years did he get? 2 years, 1 year?
Didn't say. This,
I don't know anything.
it's the bull. It's the Bulls. You're not gonna know.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think it's earned for extension. They didn't make the playoffs this year, so definitely not. One extension worthy. Some of the moves he made were they extension worthy? That's here or there the question. But like I said, you got to give him one more year to see what he can do and what the team does to give him an extension.
Now he came in. Remember, this was in the middle of the pandemic. So this is in 2020. He came in, and they're almost 3 full years now. It might even be 3 full years. I can't keep track of it all. I just remember by the time The Last Dance was airing during COVID, AK was hired. That's all
Right.
I can tell you off the top of my head. But in that time, the Bulls have made one playoff appearance in those 3 years. Now, the first year he overhauled the roster. I don't give him a true pass, but I give him a pass. Like he gutted the entire roster, and that's fine because it was Gar Forman and John Paxson's roster. That didn't bother me.
Right.
Made the playoffs the next year. Obviously, get the big splash with hiring Billy Donovan. This year should have been make or break with the additions he made last off or 2 off seasons ago now. And here you are, might have to tear it down. We keep talking about that. You don't have a draft pick. So it's a mixed bag. And this extension could just be like a 1 year thing to see what another year can do. It could be multiple years. We don't know.
Yes, it's very very uncertain because, like I said, they really kind of underachieved this year. So why give an extension or why even kind of mention it? I guess if it was a secret, I'd rather keep it a secret another year and don't let anyone find out, especially if they have a bad year next year. So I'm not sure why even bring it out now and why give them an extension. I'm not sure.
Yeah. And I mean, it hasn't been like so when Billy Donovan got the secret extension, someone asked about it and Bulls PR was like, yeah, we extended him. I haven't seen anything from Bulls PR on this one. And I could very well have missed it. It's the off season, so I'm not checking Twitter as much, but
Right.
maybe I missed it somewhere. But it jumped out in the draft. Like you have no draft picks this year right now, unless you get a miracle with the lottery. So your draft picks you're looking at for evaluation are Patrick Williams, who I think is still high upside. I don't think you need to take him at number 4, but
Yeah.
you never know. Marko Simonovic, you stashed him in Europe. He's been on the G League and up on the roster, hasn't done much. Iota Sumu's a hit. safe to say.
Yeah.
Second round pick doing what he's done. That's even after an up and down year this year. That's a hit. Dalen Terry, I have no idea because he didn't play.
Right.
That's what you have to evaluate there. Like, you have no big splashes in the draft, even though you had a number 4 pick. I get the Patrick Williams pick. I get why people defend that. I just don't know if it needed to be done at 4. I even said that at the time when the lottery happened, when the draft happened, it came around. That morning was when I first heard Patrick Williams' name, the morning of the draft. And I'm like,
right.
Where the hell did this come from? I wanted Denny Abdia, which I'm glad that didn't happen. Sorry to the Wizards, but I'm kind of glad that didn't happen.
Right.
But, your draft that was supposed to be a strength, and a couple reaches here.
Yeah, like you said, a couple reaches. Definitely a couple picks that you like in IO, but other than that, like you said, Dalen Terry hasn't played a lot. Can't really see what he's capable of what they saw. Patrick Williams, like I said, I still think his next year is going to be a breakout year for him.
You said that for a while now.
Yeah. So I hopefully, I see a lot of upside in him, but we'll see, if that, pans out. But like I said, 4 pick is pretty high, especially when no one else is on, thought he was on any on their boards and that high. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does and how he can kind of rebound and kind of make this extension, make it profitable.
And I get that the pandemic year was not the best year to get drafted. He's been through a lot. Patrick Williams has, so has everyone in this class. But even looking through, Tyrese Halliburton, you can look back and say, okay, you maybe could have taken him at number 4. He won at number 12. The next pick, so Patrick Williams went 4. Now remember, this is the draft where the first 3 picks were locks. It was Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
I knew those were going to be the top 3. The Bulls being number 4 is like, great. Could have maybe traded down, but stay where you were, and you had Patrick Williams. Isaac Okoro went 5. Onyeka Okongwu went 6. Killian Hayes went 7th. Obi Toppin went 8th. Denny Avdia went 9th. Jalen Smith went 10. I don't like doing this unless it's like 5 years past. But just quick thoughts. Any of those guys would you take ahead of Patrick Williams?
Maybe Jalen Smith. I don't know. But yeah,
see that one. Like,
other than that, I'm not a big fan of all the other ones, honestly.
Yeah, here other names that. Go ahead.
I like Halliburton, but like I said, you never know where they're going to pan out or how they're going to pan out, so it's tough.
Yeah, so some of the names that fell outside the top 10. Tyrese Halliburton went 12. Cole Anthony went 15. Sadiq Bey went 19. Tyrese Maxey went 21st. Emmanuel Quickly went 25th. Desmond Bane went 30th. And second round picks, nobody really notable besides, I guess Paul Reed, 58th overall that year to the Sixers.
Yeah.
But that draft, it wasn't a deep draft, I'd say. So I could see why maybe Patrick Williams would be the pick at 4. Like, hindsight, as we said last week, is always 2020. But it just felt at the time, even it felt like a reach. And then you look at the free agents. Lonzo taking an L on that one because of the knee. DeMar was a good signing. I don't think it's a stretch to say DeMar's a good signing. Alex Caruso was a good signing. Goran Dragic didn't last a full season. I'm taking an L there. Andre Drummond, I'm going to say that's a draw.
Yeah, it's a wash.
Yeah, like that's a tie. Like it was fine. It wasn't bad. He had good moments, but it was like kind of up and down. So I'm calling that just kind of like think of it. Let's put it in hockey terms. That was an overtime victory.
Yeah.
Or an overtime loss. It was 1 point.
Yeah.
So we'll call that a 2-2-1 on free agent signings, the big ones. The Zach Max felt like it had to happen. Yeah. I don't want to count that as an L because he played like a max player at the end of the year. So looking at it, he had some hits. He's had some big misses, and I didn't even get to the Vucevic trade.
Right. Yes. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough to grade him on stuff that he's done, but like I said, I don't think the extension was warranted. Definitely not yet. Got to have 1 more year at least to prove that you constructed a roster that coach can work with, and it's going to be championship material. Yeah,
and again, we don't know what the original contract was for. I'm guessing if I had to guess, I'd guess the original was about 5 years. And that's from that could also be me with the college mentality. When I look at college coaches, I always say you got 4 or 5 years. I'd say 5 years tops. If you don't see success in 5 years, it's time to move on. Like, because you got to get your own guys in there. You've got to get the coach with your system. Like, that's kind of how I evaluate. That's my college background talking with the 5-year plan. But I get why they might want to keep him around for stability, but it's also, if he you know, the Reinsdorfs, they're very loyal.
Right.
This could be a product of that. I just don't get quit with the secret stuff.
Yeah.
Announce the extension.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the secret stuff either. You know, like I said, it's tough to manage and own a team, but who knows the reasons why they do it or you know stuff like that. But you know, it has to be go to the public and just let the people decide. I feel like.
Yeah, and the fact they came out, Darno maybe was a great reporter. Should not be coming out from a reporter. It should be coming from the team.
Yeah,
and this is how it happened the last. I forget who reported the Billy Donovan one first. It might have been, was it Casey Johnson? Somebody. And Bulls PR was like, yeah, no, we extended Billy. Where's the press release?
Right. Yeah.
Where's the announcement? Where's yeah, like I've never seen this before. And I mean,
right.
obviously the last regime was very different. Yeah, I've made my thoughts very clear. Like, you know, I think AK has room this offseason. If he sits on his hands again, if they don't do anything again, if they're back where they were, there's no excuses now because you have an investment. Whether the extension's 1 year, 3 years, doesn't matter. You extended him. You're all in on him. There's no excuses anymore.
Yeah. You got to roll with them and roll with the punches, and you know, and make the best of this extension and get the best out of him, and hopefully he makes the right choices and the right decisions to bring this team back to the playoffs.
Yeah, and I want a draft pick, but if I had to pick between a draft pick and a point guard, I'm taking a point guard.
Yeah.
Unless you can draft a point guard, I guess, but that depends on the lottery to get a good one. So we've talked about how big this offseason is. It just got that much bigger with this news coming out. Like, I'm very interested to see. Don't do nothing again. 2 off seasons in a row, we didn't do anything.
Yeah,
do something.
Even at the trade deadline, they didn't do much either, which was very surprising. Because they needed so much, and I think they didn't do that. That kind of hurt them. But like I said, we'll see what the future holds.
My usual classic movie reference. It's like in Spaceballs. It was like, do something, and he gets on the phone. Do something. That's the Bulls front office. It's like, do something. Do anything. I really hope you got that reference too.
I got it.
Okay, I'm happy you got that one. All right, cool. Like, I was really hoping. I'm like, you better get this one because that's one of my favorite movies. Like, yeah, it's like, do something. That's all of us to Arturas Karnisovas. Like, go help this team. None of this. I get continuity. I understand that. You need to shake it up now. Like, you underperformed, and you need a point guard desperately.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you just gotta make the things work. You know, just pull a rabbit out of the hat, and you know, make a big splash. Try to at least.
Please at least try. Get in these rumors and make something happen. I don't want to hear that the Bulls aren't going to do anything.
Right.
But you know, we're gonna follow that. We're gonna follow the playoffs. We didn't get to Knicks Heat. Oh well, we'll say that for next week. Like, it's a fun series. Jimmy Butler's back. It's fun. The Bulls could have beaten the Heat. We could not even be having this conversation. But if whatever the saying is about ifs and buts or candy and nuts. But, you know, a lot of fun coming up here. We're going to go ahead and tie a bow on today's episode of Believe in Bulls here on the Believe Network, presented by betonline.ag. Use that promo code BLEAV, 50% welcome bonus. Buy our shirt, Jordan Pippen 98 The Last Stand, shop.believe.com. Also, check us out. Tune in, Believe TV, Cumulus Media, all that fun stuff. CJ, another fun show. We're back here next week recapping the playoff action, and who knows, maybe Alex Caruso is going to get a secret extension next. You never know, but we'll be here talking about it if we find out.
Yeah, you never know.
Never know in this league. See everybody back here Tuesday of next week. Enjoy the basketball this week, and if anything comes up, you'll hear from us first.